It's difficult to imagine that this vast, dried-out terrain was once covered with water. At one time, waves crashed against these cliffs. Now, only the wind sweeps across this desert landscape. It's been 40 years since the water disappeared from here. Today, it's a trawler graveyard. This former fisherman remembers the once bustling Munyak port.
That was the biggest boat on the Aral. I was captain for 28 years.
On a boat?
Yes, on a fishing boat. There's no place I haven't been on this sea.
In the 1950s, fishermen would haul in 40,000 tons of fish from the lake in a single season. That is no longer the case. The Amu Darya River flows through 4 different countries before reaching the Aral Sea. From the 1960s, the Soviet Union diverted its waters for cotton production. The region is still heavily dependent on this resource. As a result, the Aral Sea is drying up. In 60 years, it has lost 90% of its volume. We drive for hours on the dried-out lake bed to see what remains. Far off in the distance, water appears like a mirage. Rings of salt trace the former shoreline, revealing its retreat over time. When Abladin Musaev began his career as a marine biologist in the 90s, there were still around 10 living species, including 3 types of fish living here. But the rising salt levels are gradually eliminating them.
2 centigrams per liter.
6 times more than in the oceans.
In 3 to 5 years, I don't think there will be anything left here. Unfortunately, it will be like the Dead Sea.
Soon, the water will be too salty for the only species that has managed to survive here, a tiny brine shrimp.
They've been around for a long time, probably since the dinosaurs.
Brine shrimp are a treasure trove. Their eggs can be sold as fish food at around 50 to 200 euros per kilo. The season hasn't started yet, but the waves are beginning to deposit the eggs on the shore, and smugglers are on the prowl.
We're here day and night. At night, it's easier to spot them thanks to their flashlights.
Abladin believes a canal that allows for a small flow of water to the sea would help sustain this small economic activity.
Even like this, when it's dying, the sea can still feed people thanks to the brine shrimp.
This entrepreneur is working to ensure the resource stays alive.
They abandoned this place, and we want to make something out of it.
Using a deserted basin, he wants to raise the shrimp in these ponds. He is testing salt levels to optimize farming and to find ways to keep production costs low.
As you see, for farmers, it's really cheap. They don't need expensive food to grow this. Okay. So we are utilizing waste sand, there's a waste water, and waste food.
As the sea receded, it left behind a thick layer of salt. Hectares of land are now infertile, and the heavy winds sometimes blow away the salty sand. In May 2018, a historic storm hit the country, affecting residents beyond the Aral Sea.
In what country do we have rain and salty sea?
After the storm, Zinovy Novitsky was appointed to fast-track a planting program. The aim is to grow rows of shrubs on almost 2 million hectares in order to secure the soil. Here, a new growth on previously barren land.
It's a start. Then the wind will blow, and the seeds will go there and there. They'll sow themselves naturally.
His pride and joy are these shrubs. Planted 6 years ago, they now stand taller than a person.
Plants like this can accumulate up to a ton of sand at their base and hold on. That's a lot of sand that won't fly away into the air.
He hopes this dried-out seabed will transform into a prairie over time. On top of revegetation and aqua farming, another activity is being explored: gas mining. Uzbekistan is turning the page on one of the world's largest man-made ecological disasters. The country is working hard to protect what remains of the Aral Sea and its few precious resources.